I'm Dutch, and let's react to the Americans. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Johan, and I'm a typical Dutchman. And if you're planning to come over to Europe for your holidays, or maybe to live here, or if you're wondering why is everything so expensive in the United States in comparison with Europe, then you are at the right channel, because in this channel I take a look at and react to videos about life and living in the United States versus life and living in Europe. And to do so, I'm gonna take a look today at the video of Vanessa Wingard, and there is some specific A, so think it's Wingard. About companies are lying about the AI layoffs. Here is the proof. So I was wondering, why are they lying? And yeah, is it a lie at all? Because I know my experiences, and maybe your experience is the same, that lately when I try to reach any kind of service desk, I get an AI to respond to me, and then if I'm persistent, I get somebody with actual blood in their veins to talk to. A lot of is nowadays done by AI, and every website you go to, it's a small bot on the side. Oh, can I help you? Yeah, again, AI. So a lot of companies are actually replacing people at the service desk or at the help desk or whatever task they had at the phone to assist people with problems or with their buy or whatever they want to do by a AI trained bot. So I think, yeah, it's more, and to me it's logical that companies are laying off people and replacing them with AI. And this video is about that they are lying about this, that they do not lay off for AI, but for some other reason. So I want to know what Vanessa has to say about this item. And if you like this kind of content and me reacting to videos about life in America or life in Europe, then maybe it's a good idea to hit that subscribe button. And if you want me to react to another video about life and living in Europe or life and living in United States, let me know in the comments or send me a PM. I will do reactions on request. So without further ado, as they say, let's dive into this video.
About Meta layoffs, Google layoffs, Indeed. They're now laying off people due to AI.
I was laid off in March this year. It took me 6 months to find a new job. Got a new job 7 weeks ago, and now this new job has announced hundreds of layoffs.
So I think I'm being laid off from my job today.
That does impact your position. Today is going to be your last day.
I'm 30 years old.
Okay. I don't know. You guys out there in the United States, let me know. Because is this the way you are being laid off? By a teleconference? Not even come into the office? Let's talk about this. Let's sit. I have bad news. We are, and eventually you have to, sorry, but, and no, it's on the computer. And then say, yeah.
This new job has announced hundreds of layoffs.
So I think I'm being laid off from my job today.
That does impact your position. Today is going to be your last day.
It has impacted on you. Today is your last day. So while she's sitting at home in her, I assume, wow, is this the, how can I say this? The way that is done without any empathy or respect for the one that you are laying off. It's simply from, okay, your next number, bye. And now we have to talk to candidate C. And yeah, sadly, you have to go. This is your last day. And then we go to, oh man. Oh man, let me know if this is like I see it is and like I see on this and this YouTube on this TikTok. It cannot be. Have a bit more respect for your people, even if you're laying them off.
I'm 30 years old. I'm unemployed. I've been unemployed for 4 months. I literally can't get a job. I've applied to over 150 jobs. I now have negative $4.41 in my savings account because of the monthly service fee that just hit.
Salesforce just laid off
Okay. Oh, no, we got the real video. 30 years old, 150 jobs, reactions, not even interviews, and no, yeah. Now we get into the real video. CNBC, Salesforce CEO confirms 4,000 layoffs because I need less hats with AI. Yeah, that's the way that I see that things are happening, not only in the United States, but I guess all over the world, at least in the developed countries, where a lot of sales and service is done nowadays still by people and being replaced by AI. So I think, yeah, this is not specifically for the United States, but for the entire world.
4,000 employees, claiming that they're now an AI-first company and that AI is making their workforce redundant. However, what they didn't tell the public is that in 2025 alone, they insourced 1,137 jobs, insourcing being the process of bringing workers to the U.S. It's the opposite of outsourcing. According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services data, in 2025 alone, Amazon has received approval for 10,044 H-1B visas. Amazon Web
Okay. Getting people over to the US to work for.
Services, their cloud division.
Let's go back. Amazon, 10,000 people. Tata Consultancy Services, 5,500. Microsoft, 5,100. Meta, 5,100. Apple, 4. Google, 4,000. Cognizant, never heard of it, 2,400. JP Morgan, 2,400. Walmart, 2,300, almost 24. And Deloitte Consultancies, also 2,300 people.
Approval for 10,044 H-1B visas. Amazon Web Services, their cloud division, was approved for 2,347 H-1B visas, and those are definitely developers. Think about that.
Yeah, developers. Oh, yeah, I have to let the speaker, as she says, they are developers developing an AI for the company. Yeah, that could be.
AI is so good that it's replacing human coders, then why does Amazon Web Services need over 2,000 visas to bring workers into the US?
Okay, that's the question. If AI is that good with coding, what it isn't, it is not. I can tell you as a coder, it's not. I use AI as a sidekick, but it makes a heck of a lot of mistakes. And assumptions within the code, and based on the assumptions, give wrong code back and say, no, it's an 8, but it can never, as it is right now, I must be careful, as it is right now, it is not capable of replacing real, well-trained developers. No, not at this moment.
If AI agents are handling everything, why do they need over 10,000 visas just in 2025? They're trying to say that AI is replacing all jobs, but that's an oversimplified narrative, and it's often used as a cover for these corporations who are doing more complex and controversial business practices. Corporations started using the H-1B visa to bring in labor, pay them practices. Corporations
Demand vastly exceeds supply in fiscal year. USCIS received 780,884 registrations for 85,000 available slots. Okay.
Started using the H-1B visa to bring in labor, pay them less, and effectively lay off American workers.
Because they are cheaper. Okay.
We just saw this recently with Tesla. Tesla is currently in a lawsuit that alleges that they replaced over 6,000 American workers with visa holders as a means to cut costs. Now, I want to be clear that this is not me being anti-immigration. I myself am an immigrant. We shouldn't be upset at H-1B visa holders for accepting an opportunity provided to them by these corporations.
Okay. That's nice. I don't know if it's nice, but that's nice. So, at the one end, Elon Musk is supporting Trump to get aliens, immigrants, out of the country, while on the other hand, he is one of the many companies who fires U.S. personnel, replacing them not by AI, but with immigrants from, I don't know where they're coming from, based on a certain visa. How hypocritical can you be? Oh, wow.
But what we should be upset about is the exploitation. Corporations are exploiting both American workers who they lay off and the immigrant workers who they often underpay and overwork because their visa is tied to their employment. Now with that, let's revisit Salesforce. As I said, in 2025 alone, Salesforce received 1,137 H-1B visas. In 2024, they received 1,525, and in 2023, they received 1,021. That's a total of 3,683 visas, almost the same amount of people that they just laid off. Now let's look at their Indian office. Salesforce employs over 13,000.
I don't know what Salesforce is, but sales. I guess Salesforce. It's some kind of a company that does, I don't know, drop shipping or something.
People in India alone. So how much of this is actually due to AI and not insourcing or outsourcing? Because what the pandemic taught these corporations...
Again, come with me to get laid off from my 4+ year corporate technical because AI took it, and she's sitting at a laptop. The guy in the snippet we just saw about after 22 years working for Microsoft, also by laptop. It's amazing. Another one that's for me clear that I will never set foot on the United States of America.
is that operations could continue as normal, and it could be even more cost effective if they used remote workers. In fact, it's estimated that over 1,700 global capacity centers have been established in India, employing more than 1.6 million professionals. The data shows a correlation between U.S. corporations outsourcing tech jobs and India's booming IT sector. Salesforce, Microsoft, Amazon, they've all largely contributed to India's economic growth.
Yeah, but that's what they always did. That's what it's not now specifically in this year or last couple of years. It's as long as I've been in the IT sector, I want my students that they're gonna learn a job that may be in now done within the cloud, and the cloud is in the Eastern European or in the Asian countries. And there's where the jobs are. So that's 10 years ago. So it's not specifically for now, and it's not related to AI. This is what always did happen.
This is eerily similar to how U.S. manufacturers outsourced jobs to China in the 80s and 90s, helping to transform China into the world's second largest economy and pulling roughly 800 million people out of poverty. They outsourced the jobs, and now China largely competes with the U.S. Tech companies are now doing the exact same thing. They're outsourcing tech roles and laying off American workers. One could actually...
Yeah, but that's already, like I said, that's already been done for the last 10 years. So that's not something new, and it's not related to AI.
Make the argument that the U.S. government supports outsourcing, because in 2017 they passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. This bill lowered the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, but buried in the bill was the Global Intangible Low-Taxed Income. This gave corporations massive tax cuts for moving their operations overseas. Here's how...
Okay. And now we're moving. So those companies moved over their companies overseas. And now Trump says tariff to get those jobs back into the United States. And when they are coming back to the United States, like Hyundai and LG, they get raided by ICE and sent back too. Oh, what a mess is going on over there.
How insane this is. If a corporation makes profits in the US, they pay an effective tax rate of 21%. But if they make profit on a foreign subsidiary, they only pay 10.5%. As you would guess, this incentivizes corporations to move their operations overseas. They effectively went from paying 35% to 10.5%. You may have heard of the executive order that would apply a...
Yeah. President Donald suspends the entry of certain alien non-immigrant workers, to protecting American jobs.
$100,000 fee to the H-1B visa process as a means to stop these companies from bringing in talent from outside the US. However, it's quite unclear how this will actually work. Even if this worked perfectly, corporations could just skip visas entirely because they're still rewarded for offshoring jobs. Executives not only benefit from offshoring, but they benefit from every headline that says AI layoffs. Executive compensation is directly tied to stock performance. Corporations lay off, the stock price goes up, and executives cash in. We recently saw this with Bumble, who announced they would be laying off 30% of their workforce. That same day, their stock price jumped up 25%. I'm sure the executives had a nice dinner at Nobu that night. And then you have the venture capitalists like Jason Calacanis claiming that Amazon will be 100% AI by 2030. Every factory worker gone, every driver replaced, the same Amazon that just got approved for a total of 12,391 visas.
Oh. Yeah, okay. It can be. We've seen it. I've seen videos, I believe, in the region of Lower Texas. There was a company that already did fully self-driving trucks, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in southern Texas or in those regions, because the trucks had the same route every day, so they could be replaced with, and that was a lot of commotion under the real American truckers. They feared for their job. Yeah, I've seen it. So, yeah, trucks automation and robots is already there, and then AI to control that. It could be. It could be, except for getting stuff in the United States. That still need to be done. But from that point in, yeah, could be.
That just got approved for a total of 12,391 visas. But keep in mind, this is the same guy that needs his AI investments to blast off to the moon. And I recognize that Amazon does have a lot of automation. I just find it strange when people make these types of claims, yet they're continuing to hire people, just in a way that most people don't see.
Before 2030, you're going to see Amazon, which has massively invested in this, replace all factory workers and all drivers. The idea that when you order something from Amazon, a human human would touch it at any point in that supply chain is insane. It will be 100% robotic, which means all of those workers are going away. Every Amazon worker, all those jobs, UPS gone, FedEx gone. All of those are going to be gone, and those companies will be more profitable.
You know what's actually
More profitable, that's the end goal. We don't talk about jobs anymore and carrying now profit, the bottom line.
really insane? A venture capitalist who probably hasn't worked a physical job in decades, if at all, declaring that millions of Americans will be obsolete in 5 years due to the AI that he's invested in. But with all of that being said, AI is replacing some roles. Many of the jobs being lost rely heavily.
Yeah, because she's saying companies are lying about AI layoffs. Yeah, okay. They say they do it because of AI, but actually they don't. They hire people. And if there's a web developers to make the AI bots, okay, but not for more than 10,000 jobs. On the other hand, she's now talking about how, TikTok's lays off hundreds of content moderators and replacing them with AI. And for my fellow YouTubers out there, the creators, I'm not a creator, I'm just a reactor, so I do not create. But for the creators and all other people looking out for YouTube, a lot of YouTube videos are lately changing into AI-generated content. And that part of AI is getting better and better and better. It's harder to recognize if something or someone is actually a man or woman talking to you, or if it is an AI-generated video with an AI-generated voice. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder, and AI is getting better and better. So the fear of that we gotta lose a lot of AI because of AI, a lot of good content on YouTube, and jobs in general about anything with AI. Yeah, I can agree with that statement.
On the English language, and this just so happens to be the perfect use case for large language models. Things like content moderation, basic copywriting, and customer service. ServiceNow is a tech company offering a platform of AI agents to replace human workers.
We're slowing down the hiring in jobs that are, quite frankly, soul-crushing jobs. I mean, just think about like IT support, customer support. 80% of the customer inquiries and cases now are fully managed by agentic AI.
Yep, they are. And to call them mind dull jobs, it's a job. And if you keep it good and you pay enough, and people like to do, and people like to talk with other people, and that's why they are in those service sector of jobs. So it's not that they are thinking, oh, I have to go do the job because no, they like to do it. And now they're getting laid off and replaced by an agentic AI.
And the same is true of go-to-market. You know, think about people that talk to customers. There's no prep work anymore. Their AI teammate is doing that for them at ServiceNow. The supporting cast of the soul-crushing work is now being done.
Soul-crushing works. People do love, not everyone, but there are people who are loving to do this, to do the research, to learn about the stuff, and then talk about it.
By agents. They work hard 24/7. You don't have to pay them, and they don't need any lunch.
And that's the part where we're talking about in the United States. We don't need to pay them, and they can work 24/7, and they bring up a better bottom line. That's the reason. Not because we care for our people. No, we care for, oh man, I get mad for this kind of bullshit on yeah.
And they don't have any health care benefits, so they're very affordable.
Yeah, no health care benefits. They didn't have health care benefits anyway.
That's not innovation, it's dehumanization.
Thank you, dear. You're right.
Surprisingly, they're working with companies like Delta, Uber, and Visa, so we can make the assumption that these companies let go of workers in favor of using ServiceNow AI agents. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics came out with revised data on job growth. The gist of the report is that after revising the numbers, there were actually 911,000 fewer jobs created than previously predicted.
So the unemployment rate for computer engineering graduates has more than tripled over the last year. A screenshot from the New York Fed report a year ago, computer engineering, 2.3% unemployment. Same source, a year later, computer engineering, 7.5% unemployment. And this is actually true. Art history, 3% unemployment. Do not get an art history degrees, my God.
And according to the Ludwig Institute, the real unemployment rate is somewhere around 24.7%, not the 4.3% that headlines claim. They count anyone without a full-time job or those making less than $25,000 a year as functionally unemployed. Of course, this isn't how the US government measures economic health. That's what the stock market is for.
Oh, she tries to hide it, but yeah. Okay. Let's keep on going.
As companies are growing, they're just not hiring more people. In certain roles, one person can do the work of 3 people by using some type of AI tool. Multiply this across every growing company, and you get those 911,000 jobs. Now, that doesn't mean that's actually the cause, because as we saw, the economy is not doing great, but it can explain some of this job loss.
I've officially been unemployed for a year and 4 months now, and
She is also, what, 25, 26? Maybe? So she's a graduate and can't find a job?
I did not think it was going to be this difficult to get a job post-grad. And I feel like
post-grad, yeah. So even younger, 20, 22, 21?
every single day my chances of getting a job seem to get lower and lower because I feel like I graduated so long ago. And even internships where I'm supposed to be gaining my experience require you to either still be in school or recently graduated.
The real tragedy
Okay.
here is all of the people currently graduating who can't land an entry-level job. How do they become senior if they can't even be junior? And it's
Yeah. How can they become senior if they can't even become junior? Yeah. That's an interesting one. From 2025, this is the high school dropouts. High school dropouts is getting lower and lower. So that's a good one. How's about some college degree who actually have done some college went up and almost the same, and then high school graduates is going, yeah, if this one is the dropouts going down, then this one should be go up. So college graduates are going up, yeah. And they're talking about getting a job. Let's say that they also need a car and a house and a spouse and children and food, and it's impossible nowadays in the United States to start a life as a young woman or man.
It's worth noting that these corporations have for quite a while been trying to eliminate entry-level positions by making it really hard to even get hired. How can you get 3 years of experience if you don't have experience? If you're willing to switch careers, I do think being in a trade is much harder to automate, and at the rate that these data centers are going up, anything to
NVIDIA to invest $100 billion in OpenAI. NVIDIA strategic partnership opens OpenAI to build and deploy at least 10 gigawatts of AI data centers within NVIDIA systems, representing millions. Yeah, okay, you need the GPU for AI thinking and working.
do with electricity will be needed, electricians, electrical engineers, basically anything required to build a data center. And if we go back to the Bureau of Labor of Statistics, the only 2 fields that actually saw growth was education and healthcare. And this makes sense because even when the economy is bad, people are going to have children, and thus we need teachers, and people are also going to need healthcare. So to answer the question, is AI
and hairdressers, yeah. and people who can serve food. Oh, no, you don't need those. You can do it all by AI. Yeah.
AI taking jobs? The answer is yes, but these CEOs are blaming AI for the layoffs, completely disregarding the visa exploitation and the tax subsidized offshoring. Every time
Now I see your point. They're putting it under the mask of we're doing it because AI, but the bottom line is the bottom line.
they credit AI for layoffs, the stock price shoots up and they cash in. They're using AI as a cover for the real extent of their greed.
Yeah. Good video. I wonder, because I'm getting this out on YouTube with my reaction from outside looking into America and about this job market, how it is. And oh, wait, I'm gonna grab this one once more and let's scroll down. AI, actually Indians. The only prompt anyone has ever successfully used with a customer service AI agent is talk to a human. Yeah. 100%. I'm a tech worker who worked in a big tech in Silicon Valley, and I can 100% attest to this. Tech companies just use AI and bad economy as a PR to spin the cover-up replacement. Let's zoom in so you can actually read what I'm reading. No. Damn. Scroll is very sensitive. Replaced by foreign labor. Yeah. You ever notice how these layoffs never feel random? The same story, the same excuse, like we're all being played with. Yeah. Why is nobody having any kids? Yeah, I understand. And are we now back in normal? Yes? Okay. I understand that how this goes in the United States. That's the big difference with over here in Europe. There are workers' protection. So you cannot get laid off that easy like this in the United States. You have to jump through several hoops over here in Europe to get an employee out of the door. It's not that easy because they are protected by law, and they have protection from their union, and they have lawyers on their side who can say the law is something like this. And when a big company have problems and they want to kick out, for example, 300, 400, or 500 employees at once, they have to go to a judge and ask and explain and make it and prove that these layoffs of 300, 400, 500 people are valid. That is, it's actually helping the company too. And the result of those cases is, okay, you can lay off, but your responsibility to get those people into a different job. And that's something that's over here in Europe. And that's what's not happening in the United States. It's way too easy in the United States to kick somebody out. It's way too easy. And that's why I like and love to be over here in the Netherlands or in Europe. It's so much harder. It's not easy to get a job either because I'm still unemployed for 1.5 years now. But it's not because we have a lot of job opportunities not there, But once you have a job and you have a contract, then it's a lot harder for a company to get you out. That's what we do over here. That's the hardest part of being, one of the hardest part of being in the labor market of the United States. Okay, I think that I cooled down a bit. I hope you liked this video and you liked my comment. If you did, then press like. And if you want to see more of my videos, then this is a good place to start with. And otherwise, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button so we can get up to the first 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.